Now we'll kind of move into this idea of extracting. How do we now start to think about getting the knowledge out of the head of those team members? And we talked a little bit about this idea early on. We need to do a little bit of rewiring in your brain as to what a system is. It's not some detailed 20-page document with bullet points and flow charts, and like if we simplify it, over time it might evolve into that. But if we just get down to that real basic definition that a system is a series of steps that when followed produce a consistent outcome. So however you want to capture that, and it'll depend on the task. Sometimes it's a checklist, sometimes it's a video, sometimes maybe there's a little bit more detail to it. But that's all it is. It's just a series of steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And if you're hiring great team members and you've got an excellent ops manager, let's say, we might not need to go into the super micro detail. We might just start off with these high level milestones. I think there was someone who mentioned before about, we forgot to brief the client and let them know that we were going to do some work, so they were surprised when they got an invoice at the end of the job. Well, maybe one of the milestone steps are, surprise, that's right, as discussed, it might just become one of the steps in, like a milestone step, to make sure that before works are complete, it's someone's job to cross-check and make sure it's communicated to the client and it's signed off. So you just got to think that might end up being one of these high-level milestone steps. But I like that definition because it works at the high level, but it also works at the detailed, granular level as well. And it can be a simple video, understanding that these systems will change over time, and it might be a checklist, could be a video, could be a combination of the two. We just want to keep it really, really simple. Don't overcomplicate. Most people struggle with consistency, so if you just keep it simple, that's the best way. And understand that these will evolve. Like if you have a look there on the left, that's a video that I probably made, 15 years ago or 10 years ago. These are what my videos are looking at like now. I've started to evolve now. We've got lighting and the set looks good and I know what I'm saying and I'm looking straight at the camera and I don't look like a drug dealer sitting in my bedroom with my clothes drawer in the background. I've evolved. So don't let that get in the way of just getting started. Like the first version is the worst version, and that's okay. Something is better than nothing. McDonald's started off doing the chalk on the basketball courts, and that's how you get started. So if we think a little bit about those types of systems I was talking about, the two types of overview system versus maybe like a more detailed how-to system, we'll get a chance to do just a little bit here. This is an overview system, and Eric might appreciate this one. This here is from our video production business, and this is for videographers. This is an overview system, a high-level system where we're saying client comes on board, we set them up in our project management platform. There's a discovery session. Here's what we say on the discovery call. Here's a script. You'll notice here, these are high level. Basically, over time, you'll just start off with a high level like this. But then over time, see how these are kind of like highlighted with links? Each one of these ends up becoming a system. So now we have a system for the way that we run a discovery call. But it's not in this overview system here. Because we had like a production manager, she would be the person who'd oversee everything. She's not running the discovery call. She doesn't really need to know. It's the videographer who runs the discovery call. This is the system that she would sort of oversee and make sure that all of the different team members, the videographer, the editor, were doing what they needed to. And then she would be assigning out, because we use Asana, but whatever project management platform you guys use, she would assign out these different tasks to the team member who's going to do that task. And then there was a system that explained how each of those tasks were complete. So that's an overview system, and we'll get a chance in a moment. You can start to do your first overview system for the delivery of the product or service that you've identified in your critical client flow. But it's just a high level thing. And if you drill in a bit deeper, so here, each one of these ends up linking to a system that explains how to do each one of those steps. And this is our core product. So video production business, we had a thing we called our Your Story video, which was a 2 or 3 minute video that we used to record with people. The business owner would tell their story and it'd end up on their About Us page. So that was our primary product. And we went for business owners with a certain size team that were kind of into digital marketing. That was our dream client, and someone that we knew would want ongoing work. And then we had the overview system here, which is how to deliver that work. And then we've basically got the systems that sit underneath it. There's a bit of work here to get there, and I'm showing you the finished product, but you just kind of start chipping away and you make this someone's responsibility. And then, that's those detailed systems, those subsystems, they're the how-to systems. So if we drill in on this one, that's an example of running a discovery call. Now these started off, you see they're all beautifully organised and look nice now. Underneath this, a little bit further down on the system, it started off as just a video. And it was real raw and rough around the edges. For the discovery call, all we did was I got my videographer to record. He used to do it on Zoom. He would record anytime he did a discovery call with clients. And we put a bunch of those videos at the bottom of this system. And then we had someone who watched a bunch of those videos and then realised, hang on, he's asking the same thing. Oh, they're the same questions. Okay, well that now becomes the system. And now we've got a combination of the videos that show it being done and the questions that are getting asked, how to prepare, and it makes it really easy then to plug in the new videographer when Adrian couldn't make it to a shoot. Okay, great. Well, now we'll get Mark to step in and do it. Mark, here's the system. Really great for training up new team members. So you kind of start to get the idea, like this is not rocket science, it's just chipping away and keeping focus. That's the hardest thing for you guys. It'll just be focus. Like how do you keep this front and center?